Hi, my name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing Leetcode problem number 120, triangle in JavaScript, considered a medium level. So given a triangle array, return the minimum path sum from top to bottom. For each step, you may move to an adjacent number of the row below. More formally, if you are on index I on the current row, you may move to either index I or index I plus 1 on the next row. Okay, so this is going to be our input. Notice that each array is one more in length. So this is one number, two numbers, three numbers, four numbers. And if we want to look at it like this, it looks like a triangle. So what they're asking is, so here we're at, you're always going to start at index 0. Go to the next row, and we can either choose the number at index 0 or plus 1. So 1. So we look here, 0, 1. We chose 0. We're still at index 0, so we come down here and we can choose this number or that. We're going to choose index 1. And then we come here and we're still at index 1, so you can choose 1 or 8. We choose 1. So 2, 3, 5, 1. Equals 11. And that is the minimum amount that you can achieve for this example. Now this looks very simple initially. The one thing that I didn't account for in some of the test cases, and you may run into this too, well, you will run into this, is I'm going to just use a very drastic example. I didn't see this in the test cases, but there's a similar sort of scenario that's going to happen where let's say this 3, I'm going to just choose a really low number. Let's say this 3 was negative 20, right? In which case, you want to do 2, 4, 7, negative 20, right? Because that's going to give you what? 6 plus 7 is 11, negative 20, negative 9, right? So much better than 11. But if you take the approach that, we were just talking about, you would come here, look, is 3 greater than 4? No, so we choose 3, right? You come down here, and on the two options, your instincts would say, let's choose the lesser number. Well, it's not going to give you the best result if you got a negative 20 hiding down here, right? So we need to come up with a creative solution for this. So we're going to move over to CodePen. Oh, before I do that, I forgot to read example. Okay, so here's our first variable that we're going to look at. And then we'll look at that negative 20 scenario too. So create my function, just call it func. And then we're going to return triangle. Console.log the function, so we can see what we're doing. Cool, there's our triangle. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Comment it out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use a nested for loop. And as opposed to going this direction, we're going to go this direction. And what we can do is we can start here in the outer for loop. So however many arrays we have in our main array triangle, you're going to start from the second to last. And that we're going to go in this direction. Okay. So let's set that up to start, and then we'll discuss some more. So we're going to say let I equals triangle dot length, and then I'm going to say -2. Okay. And then we're going to say if I is greater or equal to 0, we're going to decrement I. I just did something funny there. Okay, cool. And just so we can make sure this is working correctly, we can console.log triangle at I. Cool. So here you can see we're saying this array, then this array, then this array. And I'm going to leave these console.logs in. I think this will help us understand what's going on. So we're going to say for loop start, so that we know what we're looking at. We'll start adding a lot of console logs, and then you can kind of lose track of what's what. So this is a good idea. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is, while we're in this array, we're going to create an inner for loop, right? And we're going to check each element of the array. So 6, we're going to look at 6, and then we're going to compare that to, so this is elements at index 0, and then we're going to go back to this array and check in this array what's greater, right? I'm sorry, we're going to try to find what's less, right? So we're going to check index 0 and index 1, right? So we're going to say, obviously 1 is less than 4, so what we do is now we add that to 6, okay? So now this is going to be 7. Oops, I'm sorry, what am I doing? We should be doing this down here. My bad. Okay. And so now we go through the loop one more time, and we're at 5. And now we're going to check 1 and 8. 1 is less than 8, so now we add that to 5. It's going to give us 6. Now we come to 7. We're going to check what's greater, 8 or 3, or what's less, what's the minimum number, minimum value. It's 3, and we change this to 10. Right? Because 7 plus 3 is 10. All right, so then we exit our inner for loop, and then minus again, and now we're looking at 3 and 4. So we inner for loop happens. We start with 3. We check what's less, 7 or 6, 6, so we add that to 3. That gives us 9. Then we increment up to 4. We check what's less, 6 or 10. That's going to be 6, so we add that to 4. That's going to give us 10. Then we get out of the for loop, and the inner for loop, and we decrement one more time. We've got 2, and all we do is we check what's less, 9 or 10. Well, 9 is less, so we add that to 2, and then we've got 11. And look at that. That's what we want. So we just go ahead and return triangle 0, 0. There you go. Right now it's going to be 2, but eventually you're going to see that that's going to be 11 as we set this up. Okay. So let's go and create that inner for loop. We're going to say for let j equals 0. And we're going to say if j is less than triangle I, which is our inner array, right? It's going to be the first instance of that. I dot length. We're going to say j plus plus. Okay. So now if we console.log triangle j. And we should put, I'm sorry, it shouldn't be for loop because they're both for loops. So we're going to go outer loop. And then here we can say inner loop start. Yeah, there we go. Right. So now we're looking at each one of those individual elements. And so what we want to do, like we said, is we want to change each number to be looking at the index and the index plus 1, whatever is less, plus this number. So we need that to be a 7, right? So how do we do this? So we just simply say we reassign triangle I j, not f, j. We're going to say that equals, sorry, we're adding to it, so we don't want to just say equals, we'll say plus equals. And then we're going to use the math.min, which you can put in any amount of numbers in there, and it's going to give you, and it's going to give you the minimum number. Of course, math.max does the opposite. If there's nothing in there, it's going to give you infinity. It's not one of them. All right, so we say triangle. So now we're going into the array, the previous array. So we've got to say triangle at I plus 1, right? And then at index j, is that the min? Or is triangle at index I plus 1 j plus 1. Yeah, there we go. We got a result. And so now let's check out that -20 scenario, right? So let's say we had -20 there. We'd want to do 2, 4, 7, -20. Let's try that out. And that's going to give us 6. I'm getting tired. My brain is not working. 6. I said 11 earlier. Jeez, I'm getting tired. 2 plus 4 is 6. Plus 7 is 13. Plus -20 is -7, right? So we should see -7 in the console. Oop, not -10. -20. And there you go, -7. So it's working correctly. Let's go make sure for real. And let's format our code. Get rid of the loops. I forgot to do that. We don't want that. We don't want that in Leetcode. All right, Now let's go ahead and test it out. Great. Let's go ahead and submit it. Fantastic. And it's fast too. That's great. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you'd like to see more like these, please like and subscribe to my channel. Enjoy your day.